Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So we've made our way up into the Blue Mountains once again. We're heading on down to nature trail, very short nature trail called the Coachwood Glen. I'm in a precarious situation out here on the road, but we're just driving through the road. I noticed a bit of curvature through the road, and the forest looks really, well, obviously looks pretty ancient. But I decided to pull up it over here and shoot down into this area here. A little cliche, but we've got the red jackets on, so we've got that whole pop in the forest thing going on. But it's freezing up here. It's winter at the moment. We've just I've sent Deb down. If you see the way the road contours, and you got the second bend in the road down there, so I've sent Deb down on that second bend down there, and it sort of gives a really good perspective between the size of us and the size of the area that we're in and the forest. So she looks really good down there. I'll keep it a pretty dark and moody photo, but to do that, I've had to shoot f13, ISO 100, and whatever the shutter speed was to get the correct exposure to shoot in that area. But I'll have to blend the two images because that was a long exposure. To have Deb down there and for her to not be blurry in the photo, I've had to bring my ISO up right to about 1600. I've had to drop my f-stop down to about f5 so I could pick my shutter speed up fast enough to capture Deb without her being blurry in the image. So just being careful, we've got a car coming. Alrighty, so glitch in the matrix there. 3/4 of the way through my first take. I'm doing a take 2. We had a car come up the road. So yeah, if the frame's not matching up to the last frame or whatever, you know why. But yeah, anyway, what I was saying was I had to change all those settings on the camera to be able to get Deb down there without her being blurry. But yeah, I'm going to have to blend those two images. So I've spoken about it many times before. We have to work in Photoshop with a bit of masking, and we'll have the base image, the cleanest image with the lowest ISO. And then I will blend Debbie in with the higher ISO, which you won't notice so much because she'll be off in the distance, so you really never be able to tell. But I'll keep this shot dark and moody. It seems like a dark and moody setting with some nice light, just sort of lights up the roadway through here. But anyway, we're going to head off to this place called Coachwood Glen. A very short nature trail. I think it's only about 600 metres, so yeah, nothing serious. We'll probably be able to keep our jackets on and stay warm. I'm going down there for a tree that is embedded itself in the top of a large rock, and the tree roots are growing over the rock. So it's sort of a bit of a scouting mission. Hopefully we get down there and we can do something with it. It's going to be a clear sky day, but the sun's far from being high over our head at the moment. So we've got plenty of time. I don't think it's a big walk to where this tree is anyway. Anyway, come along for the ride. We'll get down there. We'll see what we can do with it. And yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, so we've come down into this Coachwood Glen nature forest walk, which again was only meant to be about 600 metres, but there's tracks down here everywhere. The tracks aren't very clear, and so far, while I've found a couple of things, I haven't found exactly what I came down here for. But I have found this little pocket here. You know, you've got this lovely little waterfall here with this really crystal clear water through here. But these lovely tree ferns frame it up well on the side. And this rock over here helps frame it as well. And then you've got that real central like that centre balance in the composition there with the tree up above the waterfall. and the water cascading down through there. I've got the polarizer on just to take a bit of that glare out of the water, and I've shot on a pretty long exposure, about 13 seconds, mostly being because there's not really any texture in the water here that I can pick up on, so there's no point in me going through the effort of blending or trying to catch any texture in the water that's not there. So, but yeah, that polarizer has definitely enriched the greens down here. It's a lovely little area, but only small. But yeah, anyway, I'll wrap off this shot and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll have a look around here, see what else I can find. Yeah, there was another little fern area up there. I might shoot there. We'll see what happens. I didn't like the ground in the area. It didn't look very good at all. But anyway, here's this shot, and I'll press on, see what I can find. If not, I'll come back to you shortly and end the video there. So fingers crossed. Oh no, not this finger. Fingers crossed. It was meant to be like that, I promise you. Fingers crossed we can find it. We'll see how we go. Here's this shot anyway. Alright, so we just come up on the trail a bit further looking for this these tree roots around this rock. We can't find it. But I did just notice this little fern here with this strangler fig coming up the old coachwood tree here. So I don't mind that. I think it looks pretty cool. The only issue I think there is that you're sort of shooting low and up and into the sky, so you're getting a bit of the whites through there with the sky. I know sometimes that can look really cool and just sort of help focus your attention around the main subject, but it could also take your attention away too, because your eyes generally tend to go to the brighter part of the image. So I'm not too sure. I'll process it. I'll put it in the thing and let me know what you think in the comments below. I think this could be one that would be good on a foggy day too. So there was actually meant to be fog, 100% fog down here until like 9 o'clock this morning, but there was just no fog. Anyway, we come through. It's been a good little journey to come through here and have a scouting mission in here. If I don't come back after this, it's because I haven't found the rock or anything further. So I will say it here. I appreciate you coming along for the ride. Another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget we were in Blackheath today on the Coachwood Glen Trail. One thing I can say is that, like, for you adventurers, even photographers, the trails down here are everywhere. Like, there's just lots and lots of them breaching off all sorts of places. It's a lovely little find. I'll definitely come back. I have noticed potential down here before in another area that we come through, which sort of leads into all of this, but I'd never ventured further on into it. So we're deeper down and into the valley. There's definitely lots of points of interest down here. It'd be good to come down here and see it all on a foggy day. Anyway, again, thanks for coming along for the ride. Be good or good at it. If I do find something else, I'll come back to you. If not, take care. We'll see you again in the next video. Alright guys, so for those of you who have hung around this long, it is purely to see what the go is behind the scenes with blending exposures.
I do talk about it quite often, and we can do this for a number of reasons. Some will be creative and others will be environmental effects. So this morning we had not a lot of light in the scene. Well, there was light in the scene, but I had to pick up my shutter speed fast enough to photograph Debbie out here without her being blurry. And the way I had to achieve that was to shoot at, up here you can see ISO 1600, f5.6, 1/8 of a second. Now, if I shot this whole scene on 1/8 of a second at f5.6, you would not have everything sharp and in focus from front to back. The depth of field just isn't big enough. And if I lowered my shutter speed any slower, Deb would have been blurry in the image. Now, it does help that she's far enough away from the lens, so even with a little bit of movement, it does help to keep that image sharp. But if you come in, we just check, she's sharp, and you will see that over here I had to do my base image, and my base image was, for a clean image, was at 100 ISO, f11 to get everything sharp and in focus from front to back, and I shot that on 8 seconds. Now, it's worth mentioning that I was able to shoot this on 8 seconds because there was not a breath of wind in here. So everything in here, there's no movement in the leaves, in the ferns, in nothing. Alright, so that was how I was able to do my base image on such a low ISO and a long shutter speed. But so we want this image here, and we want to just blend Deb into this section in here. So we need to go on and click on both images there, right click, come up, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. Now once we do that, both the layers will open up here in Photoshop, and you can see here, if we turn the image off, we have our base image on the top and Deb below, because what we want to do is we want to add a layer to this base image on the top here. We want to rub a section of that base image out and reveal what is below, which will be Deb. So the first thing we want to do is highlight both of these layers. We want to come up to edit. We want to come down to auto align layers. Now the reason for that is because we don't want to rub out Deb and find that these lines in the road here or something like that don't line up. So here we know that both images have just been aligned to sit correctly and perfectly aligned with each other. Now we can come back to our base image. We can add a layer. You can see the layer mask has been added there. Now we want to change over here. What we want to do is make sure this setting here is on normal. You make sure your opacity is at 100. You will select a general soft round brush, and let's just take this off for a second on the base image, and we know that Deb is sitting roughly about here on this bend. So when we bring back on our base image, we can just rub out in that area and reveal Deb from beneath. And, oops, sorry, I've got the wrong color there. Now the reason we have to have the black here because the mask is white, so yeah, it needs to be the opposite of that color. And there you go. It's really that simple, and we just brush, hold our mouse down, and brush over and in that area. Now always zoom in just to make sure that you have brushed everything in that you want to brush in properly and haven't missed any of it out. And you can see here, Deb is completely there. Sorry, my computer's a bit slow there. I'm catching up. and we will come back into fit on screen. And now we want to merge these layers together. Now on the Windows, it's CTRL, Shift and E all together, and that will blend those layers. Now we will come in, and you can see here we've got some vector here and here where it's auto aligned to the layers. It discarded that part of the image. We need to correct that just by cropping in a little bit on either side just to get rid of that, and crop that out. There you go. That's it. It's really that simple. Blending really isn't that hard. The biggest part of your blending is making sure you get in field right, what you want to get right. And the most important thing I can say there is to make sure that even though you change settings to do what you need to do for your creative aspect, keep the exposure of both of the images the same. This will also in turn allow you to apply all your edits to one image and then just sync all of those edits over to the other image. So this way your editing is simple and the images blend together seamlessly with the correct exposure settings. So that's that. Any questions, drop them in the comments below. I appreciate you coming along for another ride. And yeah, be good or good at it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I shall see you out in the field on the next one.